All right, let's go. All right, Tim, all right. What are we going to talk about today?
Okay, Dal, we're going to start off about some true or false rumors that have been going around the NHL.
Yeah.
So, Dal, what's the first rumor that's going around the NHL?
All right, the first rumor going around is that the Panthers and Paul Maurice, they're tanking the game so that Florida can match up with the Leafs.
Oh. There's no way Paul Maurice, knowing him, that he would tank.
Yeah, like that's just crazy. Like, I wonder how this stuff get. You know how it did get started.
How it did?
Well, because for some reason, the Ottawa has Florida's number. I think they're 4-0 against them this year.
Yeah.
And you were saying it's just funny, how some teams.
It's just some teams. We had a tough time with Minnesota, of all teams. Well, Harry, the players, heck. That they come in here and they just go through the motions.
Yeah, he said it's awful. He goes, our Bruins fans pay good dough, and your team comes in and just mails in the 2 points.
Yeah, you should mail the 2 points in.
Yeah.
Oh boy, did we have trouble with those guys after that.
But you brought up a good point, Dal. You said,
Yeah, is it your team that's got their number, or is it the goalies?
Some teams play good against us. And Montreal always played good against us because nobody played good against us.
But to Dell's point, like Cheevers had Philly and Pittsburgh's number.
Yeah, just had their number. I don't know what it was, but he had it.
Okay, Dell,
All
what's
right.
the next one?
Second, true or false? There is a rumor that Brad Marchand is going to sign with the Bruins again next season. They trade him to Florida. They received a second-round pick, and Marchand will return next year.
Oh, there's no way. Well, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds
too nice.
Yeah, it sounds. He was pretty emotional leaving.
Yeah.
So, and I would think that he had to waive he would have a no move contract, so you have to waive that. But do they say, look, we'll go to Florida,
get some sun,
maybe get some sun, maybe win a Stanley Cup, and then you come back.
No tax.
Yeah.
No tax.
make some extra money.
Yeah.
Make some
Yeah, that's the fly in the ointment. Is all of a sudden he's going to go. They're going to say, "Well, you come back to Boston next year." Then he's going to look at his paycheck and go, "Holy smokes! The difference between Massachusetts and Florida. I think I got to stay in Florida."
Okay. All right.
So I say false. That's not going to happen.
No.
It sounds pretty good, though.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty good. But I don't know. I don't know about that one.
No, that's a little underhanded if it is.
That's sort of underhanded. Somebody else did that, too. Who else did that?
I don't remember. I know Sundin did the opposite.
Yeah.
Sundin said, I want to stay, I want to retire. They wanted to trade him to Detroit.
And he could have got a second-round pick.
And he says, no, I'm going to retire Toronto Maple Leaf. And they said, oh, isn't that great? And then the next year he went to Vancouver.
All right, well, Canuck coach Rick Tocchet contract is up next season. And the team has the option to extend it. The rumor is that Tocchet will not extend and will end up in Philly.
And they love him in Philly.
Oh, yeah, he's a big hero in Philly.
He's a big hero in Philly. He played for Philly, and he was tough in Philly.
Oh, yeah, boy, some of the fights. I remember the one big fight he had in Toronto. He was playing for Philly. Him and Wendell Clark went at it in the corner. Boy, what a fight that was.
Yeah. Yeah, they were throwing him pretty good that night.
That happened.
I could see that happening. They love him in Philly.
Man, he just might be sick of Vancouver.
Yeah,
they had the Pedersen and Miller mean girl thing, and the goalie's always hurt.
And one thing about Philly, though, they always try.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always try right to the very end.
And they have great fans. They're disappointing season after season after season, and they still sell out.
They still sell out.
All right. In the Toronto Sun, there was an article by Steve Simmons that asked whether Mitch Marner will sign with another team. Do you think he'll take a hometown discount and stay with the Leafs?
It depends on how he does in the playoffs. he gets a bunch of goals, I think he'd stay. If he gasses like he did and like he did the last 3 times, I don't think he'll stay.
Yeah, I think his agent Darren Farish, he likes the guys to go to free agency to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that nobody talks about with the Leafs that I think is what are they going to do with Tavares? So if they don't sign Tavares, you lose 40 goals.
Damn.
So if you don't sign Tavares and you don't sign Marner, you lose 90 points with Marner and you lose 40 goals with Tavares.
And they won't make the playoffs.
And then, because you figure Tavares, he goes to free agency. I said this before, a second-line center gets you 30 to 40 goals and is the second best, not the second, he's the best face-off guy in the league, kills penalties. Somebody's going to give him big dough.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not term, but they'll give him big dough. Let me ask you a quick question, Dad. If you're the Leafs, if you're Berube, who do you go with in goal?
I don't know. Boy, they're both playing good.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
And the funny thing is, everybody thought that was going to be their downfall this year.
But I would be careful signing those guys.
Yeah, the long term.
Yeah.
Me and my son love to listen to your podcast on the way to the rink. Keep up the good work. My question is, chirping is a huge part of the game. What were some of the best chirps you either heard or said to get in the other opponent's head?
Well, I think in junior hockey, Sullivan, I remember him saying, "Oh yeah, we'll see you at the awards back, but oh yeah, that you won't show up."
Yeah, you won't be there. Yeah, he had some good chirps.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the one funniest chirp I heard was back. It was Brendan Shanahan told the story. It was like his third year in the season, third year in the league, and he was playing for New Jersey, and Mario, and there was a scuffle in the thing, and he was pushing somebody in Pittsburgh. He was pushing somebody, and Mario came up to him and said, "Hey, Goody, don't be mad at him because you're having a bad game." Shanahan chirped something back at Mario, and he goes, "Look, kid," he says, "your first league." He goes, "This is your first year in the league. You better be respectful." And Shanahan goes, "Well, no, this is my third year in the league." and they all started to laugh at him. He says, "He got me so good. I was so mad." But the one, Dad, I'll tell the story that you told that wasn't funny chirping was you said a guy named Bo Ellick kept chirping to Larry the Rock Seidel, go get the puck, go get the puck.
Yeah. And he said, why don't you go get the puck? Oh, did he ever? I saw him the next day. Did he ever look brutal?
You speared him right in the face.
Right in the face.
So did you guys, when you played in the 50s, did you guys chirp like that or not?
Well, we didn't do much.
From Ron Held, he goes, as a Bisons fan, I guess that must mean Sabres fan, what was your biggest ad or funny moment of Buffalo?
I remember they had a sign up, Don Cherry and Winsink, Goon with the Wind.
That's pretty good. Yeah, because they used to have contests back then where whoever had the best sign won tickets to the next game, right?
That's pretty good.
So I think they won.
That was way up high,
that
too.
Was good. I just love the old odd in Buffalo.
Oh.
I mean, you leaned against the boards and the glass would shake, right?
Yeah.
And it would be like...
And it was good, too.
Yeah, so like even a mild hit sounded like you're running the guy through the board. So the fans would just go crazy.
Yeah.
And then I remember... I don't know if you were coaching then or it was the year before, Cash and Jimmy Schoenfeld.
No, I wasn't coaching that year.
Yeah, they went right through the Zamboni doors.
Really?
Yeah, and then they started to fight the Zamboni
That's awesome.
doors.
They were in the hall fighting.
But yeah, Buffalo was always... Well, they were kind of like... They were a 100-point team almost every year. I mean, we
they had that French connection line.
But the funny thing was that you just kept putting out the checking line against, and they kept pulling off. And they were getting French connection guy. Robert was getting mad.
Tambonac to the call least, and I remember I don't know what that means. I remember Rene Robert said, "Get me, Grapes, get me off this team, will you?" And
yeah. I remember the one time. John Winston got into a fight with somebody. I forget who it was. And John bit him.
Oh, yeah, he bit him.
And they took Polaroids of it, and then they ran and they showed you. But you go, here, Cherry, your goon wincing bit. I forget who it was. What do you think of that?
I said, well, that's what I like, hungry hockey players.
I remember one time, too, I was sitting by the bench during a Buffalo game, and you kept yelling at Jerry Korab, King Kong Korab. He had a helmet. You said, what's that, so you don't hit your head on the girders? And finally he told you, Grapes, lay off.
Hey, I remember him saying, it was a fight just right in front of our bench. He said, hey, Grapes, would you just lay off?
I feel sorry for the owner of Buffalo, because he paid the money. Like, he paid Skinner, he paid Eichel, and they go out and they start out not bad, then they die, and now, with like 5 games left in the season, they're tearing up the league.
It's easy to play good when you got nothing to lose.
Man, I don't know. Maybe they got to go out and get a goalie because they got a 40-goal scorer. They got a pretty good defense.
They got to get a goalie like the Leafs.
Okay, now we got, what's the next one? This one's asking about Eddie Shore, everybody's favorite.
Oh, yeah. So the guy asked, what would Eddie Shore think of all the injuries we have in the game today?
Well, I remember him he put in the book, so I don't think he'd lie. He never lied. He played with 50 stitches in his leg, and everywhere he went, there was little drops of blood. And that's what Eddie Shore would think of the injuries today.
That sums it up.
Yeah. Well, there's that story where he missed the train to Montreal, and it took him the whole...
And the train was going one way, and he was going the other way?
Yeah, and he missed the train to go into Montreal, so he was in the middle of a snowstorm, and he they had a driver. The driver quit. He went in the car, went into the...
He went in the
ditch, and he had to get horses to pull it out, and he finally got there like 2 hours before game time, fell asleep. They threw water on him to wake him up, and Boston won 1-0. He got the goal. I guess he got into a bunch of fights, got cut, and they fined him $50 for being late.
Really?
If you were injured playing for Shore, you just couldn't show it, right?
I showed him one time. I had a broken toe. He put me in hot water, and then he put me in cold water. Hot water, cold water, hot water, cold water. I put on my skate pretty fast. And done them up tight.
Yeah. Well, Brian Kilray tells that story where it was a Barclay Plager. So Barclay Plager did something to Brian Kilray in the practice, and so Brian was a little mad at him. So Eddie Shore walked in, and Brian said loud enough, "Hey Barclay, how's your neck? Is it still stiff?" And Eddie panicked, and Shore told him to get on the table. He was going to crack his back. Oh. And Brian said they went for a beer, and the trainer came in and said, "You better be careful, Brian." He goes, "They had to take Barclay away in an ambulance." They screwed up. So all of a sudden, he saw Barclay come into the bar with a neck brace on, and he was chasing him around the bar. He was going to kill him. So, but he thought he was a chiropractor, right? Shore?
Yeah, Eddie Shore thought he was a chiropractor, and I remember he twisted my neck. Oh, I just let him twist away.